Within the first Do-Chi fragment world, the vast expanse of land and sky was filled with a density of Do-Chi far greater than that found in other worlds. Under this overwhelming Do-Chi, anyone traversing the boundless lands felt an immense sense of power. It had been approximately half a month since Xiao vanished from the entire world. During this time, countless powerful beings who had developed admiration for Xiao searched for his whereabouts in every corner of the world. However, due to the mysterious and sudden nature of his disappearance, none of them were able to find the figure of the Lord of Dimensions, who had only shown himself once. Despite this, they continued searching, driven by their unwavering belief in him. Some speculated that Xiao had merely gone to another fragment world and believed that he would inevitably return. The reason they held this belief was simple. Xiao unconscious daughter still resided in this world. Regardless of the truth, the structure of the Do-Chi world would undoubtedly change, as everyone began to accept a fact that this world was merely a fragment of the ancient Do-Chi continent. As a result, the Do-Chi world had convened the largest alliance meeting in its history. At that moment, on the largest Do-Chi continent, all the top races and factions had gathered. Dozens of Do-Di powerhouses and the majority of peak Do-Sheng experts had arrived at the domain of the greatest race in the world, the Heavenly Clan. The Tianyu, the domain of the Heavenly Clan, was a vast land stretching millions of miles. A mysterious mist lingered in the air, not made of water vapor, but of a highly concentrated Do-Chi. It was in such an environment that the Heavenly Clan had become the most powerful race. At the pinnacle of Tianyu, which was also the highest point in the entire Do-Chi world, stood a towering super peak reaching tens of millions of feet high. From the summit, one could view the entire Do-Chi continent, but due to the extreme altitude, nearly 70,000 miles above the ground, the air was so thin that ordinary people could not ascend. Combined with the Heavenly Clan's restrictive formations, only those at least at the Do-Zun level could reach this place. Yet, on the platform atop the peak, a massive space of 100,000 feet in size, more than 10,000 people had gathered. These tens of thousands of powerful beings, none of whom had strength lower than Do-Zun, were the elite of the elite in the world. Among them, the leaders were clan heads from dozens of races and the masters of top factions, including Xiao clan's patriarch Xiao Jintian and Xiao Heavenly God, among others. At this moment, however, all eyes were focused on the center of the platform. There, on a stone platform, two figures sat facing each other in meditation. In the space between them lay a beautiful young girl, Xun'er. Sitting beside her were the Heavenly Emperor and Xuanzi, the patriarch of the Heavenly Clan. "It still isn't working," Xuanzi said, shaking his head as he looked at Xun'er, who showed no signs of awakening. Her Do-Chi is stable now, but her soul power has not shown any significant recovery. This is likely the reason she cannot wake up. As for her bloodline power, I cannot detect anything wrong, the Heavenly Emperor said, his voice calm. Previously, the Heavenly Emperor and Xuanzi had worked together in an attempt to wake Xun'er and uncover the truth, but it was clear that they had failed. Bloodline? Is it from the sky-devouring Python clan, or the Xiao clan? Xuanzi inquired. She possesses both bloodlines, and they have fused in a special way. Now, it can be said that she has a completely new bloodline, the Heavenly Emperor replied. A new bloodline? Xuanzi was slightly shaken. He had heard of bloodlines merging before, where the two bloodlines coexisted in a state of mutual presence. However, he had never heard of two bloodlines merging into an entirely new one. Yes, I suspect that the fusion of the two bloodlines caused a severe injury to her soul. This side effect may cause her to fall into a long period of slumber, the Heavenly Emperor explained. This sleep could last for over 100 years. Before that happens, if the Lord of Dimensions does not appear, we will have no choice but to wait for her to awaken. Should we prepare now? Xuanzi asked the Heavenly Emperor. All the top figures of the Do-Chi world are gathered here, and I believe some things should be shared with them, including the secrets we have been hiding. I will handle it. It's better to avoid confusion when the time comes, the Heavenly Emperor said. Understood. Xuanzi nodded. The Heavenly Emperor slowly rose from the stone platform and looked out over the vast crowd gathered on the platform. All eyes turned to him. "I've called all of you here. Your presence here shows respect for my heavenly clan." The heavenly emperor addressed the crowd. Hearing this, countless gazes in the audience were stunned. What did the heavenly emperor mean by this? The heavenly clan was the most powerful race in the Dochi world, and their profound foundation was so vast that it was likely unmatched by all other races combined. Such a superpower, who would dare to disrespect them? The heavenly clan was number one, and no other race would dare claim to be second. Could it be that the appearance of the Lord of Dimensions had diminished the heavenly clan's status? "This gathering is just an opportunity for us to chat," the heavenly emperor said, raising his hands behind his back. "Here, all of our statuses are equal. The heavenly clan is not above you, and you are not below the heavenly clan." Everyone was momentarily stunned again. What was going on with the heavenly emperor today? His words lacked the usual domineering tone. While everyone was still puzzled by his remarks, the heavenly emperor's voice continued. "By now, I'm sure many of you have heard some things from the Lord of Dimensions and have made your own speculations," the heavenly emperor said. "We now know that this Dochi world is merely a fragment of the ancient Dochi world. Furthermore, it is clear that the Lord of Dimensions aims to unite all these shattered worlds." Though everyone already knew this in their hearts, hearing it spoken by the heavenly emperor again left them in disbelief. How could such terrifying power exist to piece together countless shattered worlds, like assembling a puzzle? The Lord of Dimensions was clearly beyond what mere strength could measure. I don't know if any of you have thought about this, but I'll remind you anyway," the heavenly emperor said with a faint smile. "Have you ever considered what will happen if the Lord of Dimensions truly succeeds?" His words caused everyone to pause in slight confusion. Once all the worlds merged, wouldn't the result be the birth of a vast new superworld where all races would be able to develop further? If that were the case, the future would be full of limitless possibilities. To be honest, everyone gathered here was eagerly anticipating the Lord of Dimensions completing the world fusion. In this fragmented world, they could hardly make a name for themselves. The new world was a fresh opportunity and a starting point for them. This is an interesting question, one worth discussing," a middle-aged man, one of the many Do-D powerhouses present, said with a faint smile. "Most of the people here probably think that after the new world is born, their race will experience rapid development, but I don't share that view." "Speak your mind," the heavenly emperor said to the man. "I believe that after the new world is born, the prospects for our world will be rather bleak. Many people have overlooked one fact. Other worlds must have people with the same thoughts as ours. Even though our world is the largest among the shattered fragments, once the complete Dochi world is born, we may not be able to compete with the other hundreds of worlds. There's also an important factor that many haven't considered: source energy. Due to the lack of source energy, our world can hardly give birth to more Do-D powerhouses. But if the complete Dochi world is rich in source energy, no one can estimate how many races will produce a large number of Do-D powerhouses. Even if each world has only one Do-D powerhouse, with hundreds of worlds, that's already hundreds of Do-D powerhouses. In fact, the number could be far greater. This is an inevitable trend. We, at most, are just ordinary members of this trend. At that time, some originally weak races will develop explosively due to the abundance of source energy, surpassing the originally powerful races within a few decades or centuries. That will be a world where the weak must struggle and the strong must be cautious. No matter how weak you are, there will always be someone weaker than you. And no matter how strong you are, there will always be someone stronger. I believe that's why the heavenly emperor said we would all be equal in the future. Think carefully. Is our future really that optimistic? After finishing, the middle-aged man turned his gaze toward the heavenly emperor. You have a good understanding. Yes, that was exactly what I meant earlier, the heavenly emperor said, clearly in agreement with the man. What he wanted to tell everyone was that no matter how great their achievements were now, they must never stop moving forward, because there would always be countless people chasing behind them. The heavenly emperor means well, but shouldn't such things be kept in our hearts rather than spoken aloud? A powerful figure asked the heavenly emperor. After all, in the complete Dochi world, All the races here will likely become competitors to your heavenly clan, right? The question asked by the powerful individual was actually what everyone present had been thinking. So, when this question was raised, all eyes turned toward the Heavenly Emperor. As for the Heavenly Emperor's response to the question, he gave a faint smile, preparing to share what was on his mind with the others. However, as is often the case with unforeseen events, things happened when no one was ready. Just as the Heavenly Emperor was about to speak, an unexpected scene appeared before his eyes, causing his pupils to contract slightly. The words he intended to speak remained unsaid. The Heavenly Emperor stood dumbfounded in the empty space, his eyes filled with disbelief, because all the people who had gathered on this mountaintop had, in the blink of an eye, completely disappeared. The sudden disappearance of everyone before his eyes caused the Heavenly Emperor's expression to change. He hurriedly turned around and looked behind him, and the result was just as he had expected. Tian Xuanzi and Xiao had also vanished. The entire mountaintop was now empty, with only the Heavenly Emperor remaining. The sudden change left the Heavenly Emperor momentarily stunned. His first instinct was to suspect that he had fallen into some powerful illusion. However, when he used his soul power to scan the area within several 100,000 miles, he immediately ruled out the possibility of it being an illusion. Within his detection range, billions of Heavenly Clan members were disappearing on a massive scale. The speed was so fast that it left the Heavenly Emperor in disbelief. But it was this speed and the scale of the disappearance that made him discard the idea of being trapped in an illusion, for he believed no illusion could cover such an enormous area. What truly puzzled the Heavenly Emperor was where these disappearing people had gone, and why he himself had not vanished with them. What was happening? While the Heavenly Emperor was left confused by the mass disappearance in the Dochi world, he did not realize that similar events were unfolding in hundreds of other fragment worlds. In every fragment world, countless powerful beings were experiencing turmoil due to the disappearance of those around them. In fact, they were also part of the disappearing group, unaware of where they would end up or if they would ever return. In over 400 fragment worlds, it wasn't just humans. Countless types of magical beasts, fierce birds, and all creatures capable of life were disappearing on a large scale. Such a scene had never occurred before. If there was someone capable of causing such an event, that person would surely have surpassed the comprehension of everyone in the Dochi world, for they would be nearly omnipotent. However, not all fragment worlds were experiencing this large-scale disappearance of life. In fact, nearly 1/10 of the worlds among the more than 470 fragment worlds had not experienced such an event. These worlds were all around 1,000,000 miles in size, whereas the hundreds of worlds where creatures were vanishing were either larger or smaller. But that didn't mean those worlds were calm. On the contrary, they too had plunged into chaos. Because the people and billions of beings that vanished from other worlds were all transferred into these worlds. In the 7th Dochi world, Xiao Yan's original fragment world, within the eastern central plains, Tianfu mountain range. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Countless sounds of wind tearing through the air echoed across the mountains. At this moment, the Tianfu mountain range had entered a state of high alert. Tens of thousands of powerful individuals had sealed off the area, covering a radius of 100,000 miles with a super-large energy shield, and a massive protective formation over 10,000 feet high was activated. This was the first time since the Battle of the Dual Emperors that Tianfu had entered such a war preparation state. The reason was the sudden appearance of a black tide in the distant sky, and those whose strength was above the Do Huang level could clearly see the composition of this black tide. It was composed of billions of human figures. Outside the Tianfu headquarters hall, all the top experts had gathered, including Yao Lao, the mansion master, and several elders with strength above the Dosheng level, as well as Shaolin. They all looked up at the sky with extreme shock. "Mansion master, what's going on?" asked a 4-star Dosheng elder, his body trembling slightly. From his perception, among the hundreds of billions of figures appearing in the sky, nearly 1,000 were above the 1-star Dosheng level, but below the 7-star Dosheng level, and he was certain that even stronger individuals were among them, though they were too powerful for his senses to detect. Over 1,000 Dosheng level experts, forget about just Tianfu, Even if the entire Do-Chi continent joined forces, they would be swept away. This was why Tianfu had entered the highest level of alert. Damn it! Where did these guys come from? Mansion Master. The Gu clan has sent a message. At that moment, a hurried voice came from behind Yao Lao and the others. A man appeared, holding a small jade slip that flew swiftly toward them. Seeing this, Yao Lao quickly reached out to catch the jade slip, crushing it in his hand. Immediately, some information flowed into his mind, causing his heart to tremble. Grandfather Yao, what did the Gu clan say? Xiao Lin asked as he noticed the solemn expression on Yao Lao's face. Same as before. Yao Lao's eyes narrowed as he spoke in a deep voice. Right now, it's not just in the eastern central plains. Even in the western central plains, the Black Corner region, and the edges of the Do-Chi continent, there are large numbers of unidentified individuals appearing. What we've seen here is probably only a small part of the whole. Damn it! Who are they? Xiao Qin's face darkened, and a blood-red giant axe materialized in his hand. While he knew that the power of the Heavenly Mansion could not fend off these people, if they truly posed a threat to the Heavenly Mansion and the Xiao clan in the rear, he would fight them to the death. After all, Xiao Chun was currently the highest-ranking member of the Xiao clan, and it was his duty to spill his blood for the clan if necessary. Boom! At that moment, an extremely terrifying aura descended from the sky. This aura was so powerful that it surpassed even the limits of a Do Sheng. Waves of ripples appeared on the giant protective barrier around the Heavenly Mansion, and the entire Heavenly Mansion mountain range began to tremble. Everything was sending an unmistakable message to the Heavenly Mansion. A Do-Di powerhouse had arrived. There's even a Do-Di. Despite the protective formation around the sect, the terrifying aura pouring down from the sky still caused the Do Sheng powerhouses within the Heavenly Mansion to shiver. The power was undoubtedly that of a Do-Di level expert. Boom! As one Do-Di aura descended, another of the same level followed. Under the crushing pressure of these two Do-Di auras, the protective barrier of the Heavenly Mansion was on the verge of collapse. Yao Lao and the others turned their gaze toward the sky, where they saw two king-like figures standing in midair. The space around them twisted violently, as if it could be crushed at any moment by the overwhelming force of their auras. What the hell is this place? One of the Do-Di powerhouses in gray robes looked at the Do-Chi world before him, his expression slightly grim. Just a few minutes ago, he had been in another world, and in the next moment, he found himself in this unfamiliar place. The Do-Chi here seems a bit weak. Another Do-Di powerhouse, dressed in yellow robes, casually gathered some of the surrounding Do-Chi and compressed it into a droplet of crystal-clear liquid in his palm. The fluctuations around this liquid were far beyond the usual liquid Do-Chi that ordinary Do-Shi could condense. The power of this liquid was enough to annihilate a Do Sheng powerhouse. With a flick of his finger, the yellow-robed man launched the liquid, which pierced through the air and exploded several miles away. The force of the explosion shattered 1,000 zhang space. The yellow-robed man came from a vast fragment world that spanned millions of miles. Because that world was several times larger than the one they were currently in, the Do-Chi there was slightly stronger. By the same logic, if the Great Thousand Worlds were only as small as a lower-level plane, the spiritual energy there wouldn't be much stronger than the Do-Chi in a lower plane. At that moment, both the yellow-robed man and the gray-robed Do-Di powerhouses' brows furrowed. Their eyes turned toward the protective barrier surrounding the entire Heavenly Mansion mountain range. Buzz! The massive protective shield rippled, and several thousand figures, each radiating powerful auras, emerged. Among them, two women stood out. The one in the lead wore a purple-blue dragon robe, and her eyes exuded the terrifying majesty of a ruler, commanding the world. Seeing this woman in the dragon robe, the two Do-Di powerhouses in the sky narrowed their eyes. They knew this woman was also a Do-Di powerhouse, and the aura surrounding her indicated she was one of the native Do-Di experts of this world. The appearance of the woman in the dragon robe and her over 1,000-strong followers brought great relief to the Heavenly Mansion's forces. The pressure from these unknown individuals who had appeared out of nowhere had lessened. Great! It's Aunt Ziyin from the primordial ancient dragon clan. You're just in time, Old Huiyun and the others said. With the assistance of the primordial ancient dragon clan, things couldn't be considered hopeless. There was still a chance. Xian has directly come to the heavenly mansion. I wonder how the primordial ancient dragon clan is doing now? Yao Lao said with some concern, then waved his hand to the people behind him. Anyone with strength above the Dosheng level, follow me. Those below Dosheng, retrieve all the 7-star and above medicinal pills and prepare them at any moment. If anything changes, immediately convert all the pills into energy and infuse them into the mansion's protective array.
Yes.
The powerful individuals behind him immediately responded. Let's go. With Yao Lao's low shout, his figure shot out first. Following closely were Old Huayun, Xiao Chun, Xiao Lin, and more than 20 other Dosheng level experts. Yao Lao and the others soared into the air and joined Xian and the other powerful members of the primordial ancient dragon clan. Thank you, clan leader Xian, for coming to our aid. The heavenly mansion is truly grateful, Yao Lao said, then asked, how is the situation with the primordial ancient dragon clan? It's fine. I've already scouted the situation. For Do-Di experts have appeared in this world. One is in the ancient clan's territory, another is between the Yin and Lei clans, and the last two are here. The primordial ancient dragon clan is located at the edge of the continent, so these people haven't appeared near us. That's why I brought my people here directly, Xian explained. While speaking, her gaze remained fixed on the two Do-Di experts in the distance. Since Yao Lao and the others were Xiao Yan's teachers and elders, if anything happened to them and she ignored it, it would be difficult to explain to Xiao Yan when he returned. 4 Do-Di experts? Where did they come from? Yao Lao and the others exchanged confused glances. Could these experts have come from the world where Xiao Yin and Gu Yuan had gone? Why had they come here? Just as Yao Lao and the others were bewildered, the voice of the gray-robed Do-Di expert among the countless people ahead spread out, causing Xian and Yao Lao to momentarily freeze. Everyone, I know you must be the original inhabitants of this world. We don't know how we ended up here. Could you tell us, where's this place? The gray-robed Do-Di's words caused a slight tremor in Xian and the others. They stared in disbelief at the hundreds of billions of figures that had suddenly appeared. Could it be that these people didn't even know how they got here? Had they been forcibly transported here? However, the gray-robed Do-Di's question eased some of the tension in Yao Lao and the others. It seemed that these newcomers weren't true invaders. After all, with the arrogance typical of Do-Di experts, they wouldn't speak to people vastly weaker than themselves through deceit. Xian also let out a deep breath. At first, she found it odd. If these were invaders, their method seemed far too strange. More than 90% of the hundreds of billions of people had strength below the Dosheng level. Wouldn't that make them cannon fodder? Since that was the case, Xian felt it wouldn't hurt to tell them where they were. This is... However, just as Xian was about to answer, another voice echoed through the heavens, causing her heart to shake. This is a fragmentary world, just like yours. The booming voice, filled with the majesty of the heavens, resonated through the entire world. Upon hearing it, everyone in the heavenly mansion felt a surge of joy. They recognized this voice, and Xian was especially elated. She was more familiar with this voice than anyone else. High in the sky, the two Do-Di experts narrowed their eyes. They looked toward a space not far away. Then, everyone saw a massive dimensional rift, thousands of zhonglong, tear open in the sky. 3 figures appeared from within. The middle figure was an extremely enchanting woman, whose appearance resembled Xiao Sun's, but with a more mature charm. Beside her were 2 men standing with their hands clasped behind their backs. Upon seeing these 2 middle-aged men, the 2 Do-Di experts in the distance tightened their expressions. They could sense that these 2 men's strength was on par with 4-star Do-Di experts or higher.